Mic'd up.
Welcome everybody. On the Tee Florida is Mic'd Up. I am John Reger, PGA Mic'd Up broadcaster, and your host of this segment called Wild Bill's Golf Weather on the Shipyard Sports Connection Network, coming to you from the Sea Dog Brewing Company, St. Augustine Studio, and the Backyard Golf Association in Gainesville, Florida. And this week it's the Truist Championship on the PGA Tour from the Quail Hollow Club, Charlotte, North Carolina. Not only will we hear about the weather forecast, which always plays an integral part of the outcome, we will also include some banter about the Green Mile of golf. Now it's time for Wild Bill Thoreau for his take on this week's weather and the Green Mile of golf.
Woohoo! How we doing there, Coach? I have to tell you, they let me out of solitaire to do this today. So it's Wild Bill coming to you remotely from Charlotte, North Carolina, or what we're going to call the Queen City. Did you know that Charlotte, North Carolina was actually named after Queen Charlotte, the wife of King George III? Name sound familiar? It should. He was the king when we, or the 13 colonies, decided to tell England to bugger off. And that's when we declared our independence. Now, I was in the city of Charlotte the other day, and they seem to be a little confused here. They've confused their uptown and their downtown and their uptown, or their downtown and their uptown, downtown's uptown, uptown's downtown. Who knows? Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I'll let you guys figure that out. I found my way home. Charlotte is also the original home of the original gold rush. I bet you didn't know that, John. In 1799.
Well, no, they do have, I think one of their teams called the 49ers or something. I know
it
San
is.
Francisco it is, but I thought they have a 49er college team or some sorts right there, don't
That's
they?
right. Original gold rush in 1799. A 12-year-old boy found a 17-pound gold nugget. I think they were using it as a doorstep or something like that, believe it or not. Guess what it sold for? $3.50. And they call me a criminal. What the hell? All right. Another fun fact, Quail Hollow actually opened in 1961 and was actually built on the site of a 257-acre Jersey dairy farm. Those are cows, considered the largest in the state at the time. Jersey dairy cattle, by the way, are a golden brown color, and they're much smaller than those typical black and white Holstein milk cows that we see and that we're all used to getting our milk from. Jersey cattle produce an actually very high fat content milk that is usually used for butters, ice creams, and yogurts, not your typical drinking milk. My very first cow was actually a Jersey cow, and the cow was named Weeby. That's funny, right? Funny story about Weeby.
Well, we have a friend named Freddie Weeby,
Yes, we
friend that is pretty famous in these Gainesville parts out there. In fact, I know that if you're watching this, you could care less about what I'm about to tell you. But Freddie Weeby from Gainesville, Florida, that's where your Backyard Golf Association is there, Bill, was the #1 domino franchisee in the world 3 times. In
That's
fact,
right.
the third time, they flew Steve Spurrier out to Las Vegas at their big convention and gave Freddie $50,000 and a Rolex watch. And years later, Freddie and Steve Spurrier are partners together in the Steve Spurrier Grill in Gainesville. But I digress because we need to talk about some golf weather, don't we?
Yes, we're doing. We're getting there. So my very first cow, Weeby, funny story about Weeby. When I got this cow when I was very, very young, and we had to milk this cow my entire childhood by hand. Believe it or not. That's how I got my surgery hands, by the way. And as all cows do, she eventually got too old and she got sent off to made hamburger, John. That was the best cheeseburger in paradise I ever had because I knew I never had to milk that cow ever again. Now, as we move on, this week's Wild Bill's weather report follows the PGA Tour to Quail Hollow for the Truist Championship, and we're all going to walk the Green Mile. Now, what is the Green Mile, you might ask? The Green Mile at Quail Hollow is what many will consider to be golf's toughest closing stretch in professional golf. With a 500-plus yard par 4 on number 16, a very long par 3 over water on 17, and 490-yard par 4 on 18, and a creek running down the length of the fairway, all 3 of these holes have significant water hazards that come into play, and most golfers are happy to finish the weekend on these 3 holes with just a par. However, most are at least 1 over par for the tournaments. And actually, from what I understand, there is only 1 player in the history of a Quail Hollow golf tournament that has ever finished under par on the Green Mile for the 4-day week. Now, another fun.
Do we know who that is?
You know, I don't. And I just thought that I should have looked that up. So
Bill, you
now
got
we
to do
got.
more show prep than that. You teased us, so we'll
Oh,
have to.
now we have an on the tee mic'd up teaser for next week. We'll come back with that answer. How's that?
Well,
Or
actually,
you can
not
look it
only
up
is this
yourself.
being viewed, well, not only is this being viewed live on the Mic'd Up app, but it's also going to be played Thursday night on the broadcast of On the Tee is
Woohoo,
Florida,
that's
and
tomorrow.
so our viewers will be
All
watching.
right.
And so while we're bantering about, hopefully someone will call in and give us the right answer on
Oh,
who was
that'd be
under par
interesting.
those last
Maybe
three holes of the
maybe
whole
they should get
thing.
a prize. They could get a prize if we figure that out.
Absolutely.
All
Hey,
right.
wait,
So,
wait, before you go any further, what the hell are you wearing? What are you doing? What
oh,
is this?
so The Green Mile is a movie, and we all know the movie with Tom Hanks and all those people about death row, right? Well, there's actually a character in the movie called Wild Bill,
I got it. Yeah,
and
now
this is
I
what he
got
looks
it.
like.
Yeah.
That's where we got
Oh
the
my
picture for
goodness.
the promo. So I'm Wild Bill
Yeah.
from The Green Mile. He
Did,
was kind of a
did you
diabolical,
even get
crazy,
your
kooky character.
you got your knuckles logoed or something? I
Oh, I
mean,
do. I got him
tattooed?
tatted up. Tatted up. It says golf.
Oh my goodness.
I got my mom tattoo over here. I think it says golf over there, though. Oh, there's my mom tattoo. Deanna wanted to get one of me,
Wow.
too. All right. So we're moving on. One more fun fact, I think. The name The Green Mile, as we were talking about, actually comes from the Stephen King novel, The Green Mile, highlighting the high stakes death row nature of the final three holes, which have routinely made many an exciting story here at Quail Hollow. And this week, the Truist Championship will not disappoint. And why is that? Well, that brings us to the weather, John. Looks like we're going to be starting out a very unpredictable week on Thursday with what looks like sun, rain, clouds, and once again, thunderstorms. All right. All day long. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of delays, and some of the play may be pushed into Friday. Now, the weather's going to start clearing up on Friday. However, there's still going to be some rain with a 30% chance. But on Saturday and Sunday, the rain moves out and the clouds and the sun come in, and it's going to be partly sunny with the temps all in the 70s with a light breeze going across, and everything's going to be start drying out, especially those Bermuda greens. Now, with the length of this course and the speed of some of the fastest Bermuda greens on the tour, and the speeds picking up by Sunday as they dry out, it looks like it should be quite a showdown on Sunday, as we will bear witness to golf's hardest closing stretch of the PGA has to offer as we all walk the Green Mile of Quail Hollow for this year's Truist Championship. Ta-da! That's Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report coming to you live remotely from Charlotte, North Carolina, from prison.
Oh man, I tell you what, I don't know. I don't know. Every week you top the week before. It's going to be something by the end of the year. I have a suspicion by the end of the year look like Santa Claus or something to be able to top all this.
There might be a
Hey, Bill,
Christmas
you
tournament.
nailed it last week. Bill, you nailed it last week with the with at Trump Doral down there on the Blue Monster course at the Cadillac Championship, because the last round they went ahead and shortened they put
Yeah,
one grouping on the first side and another grouping on the back side. They moved the tee times up early so they could get finished before the big thunderstorms came in, and you just absolutely nailed that weather
that's
report. So
that's
that's
why
a good thing.
our patrons, right? Our patrons need to watch the Wild Bills weather report because we are on the money. Amateur weather, way to go.
Well, this is absolutely great. Well, Bill, I think I just really enjoyed the banter with your Wild Bills Golf Weather Report, and we look forward to that every week. So there you have it, everybody. You've been listening to Wild Bills Golf Weather and Banter, sponsored by Sea Dog Brew Club, Sea Dog Brew Pub, Treasure Island. We're on the T, Florida. I'm your host, Mike, that broadcaster, John Reger, PJ. And we're also on the Shipyard Sports Connection Network now. This is a brand new thing for us, where we have New England and we have Tampa Bay sports all merged together on the Shipyard Sports Connection Network. So you've been listening to On the Tee Florida's Mic'd Up. So always remember, everybody, to bring your umbrella in case it rains. With that, we'll see you next week.
Woohoo!